Moving on from question 4 of logical reasoning drill set number 8 over at lawhub.lsac.org, we find number 5. And when you have two speaker prompts such as this, you could be looking at either an argument or an inference task. So the first thing you need to determine is which categorical task you're being asked to complete. And in this case, we see question 5 STEM reads, Yvette and Aisha disagree about whether blank. So we really are looking at something that they must disagree about, which puts this in the inference category. So we need to highlight the individual statements of Yvette and Aisha in different colors so that we can distinguish them clearly. And then we're looking for an answer choice that these two speakers must be on opposite sides of. So we'll now read Yvette's statements from the top. The rise of transnational corporations will lead to greater cultural homogenization. So there's the first statement, and we'll just highlight that in pink. And then we're going to get the reason, which is because people throughout the world will abandon their traditional cultural identities and embrace a common corporate work culture. And we'll just highlight that in this nice yellow. Then we move on to Aisha, and we'll switch colors once more. She states, but to succeed, corporations have to conform to the traditional cultures in the individual nation states in which they do business. So we'll just highlight that initial sentence in orange. And then Aisha states, so rather than breaking down traditional cultural identities, transnational corporations will actually affirm the stability of traditional cultures. And since we're running out of highlight colors, we can just use the underline for this final statement. So we need to find an answer choice that they must be on diametrically opposed sides of. So we're looking for reasons to eliminate that fall under our inference categories, meaning something that is extreme, something that needs additional information to place them decidedly on opposite sides, or something that is just a straight up information reversal, meaning that they really agree about that topic. So we'll just go ahead and read the first answer choice. It states, nation states encourage the cultural homogenization of their peoples. Well, if we look for just the term nation states, we find it here in our orange statement from Aisha. And it just says that for corporations to succeed, they have to conform. Okay, but she doesn't really talk about this idea of cultural homogenization of their peoples being encouraged. Furthermore, we are just going to look at this term of nation states and see what Yvette says about it. And Yvette actually never uses the term nation states at all. If we just know that transnational corporations are going to lead to greater cultural homogenization, but there's nothing about nation states at all for Yvette. So we don't know how Yvette is going to have a position regarding this concept of nation states. And if we recognize that, we can eliminate choice A as needing initial information about that term nation states from Yvette almost immediately, and it really expedites how we're going to address the rest of these answer choices as well. So choice B, transnational corporations can adapt to the culture of each nation state in which they do business. Well, there's that term again, nation state, that we don't have Yvette committed to being on one side of as a topic. Furthermore, the idea of it literally being for each nation state, that's going to be extreme. We can eliminate B hopefully almost immediately. Then choice C, transnational corporations are dependent on the nation states in which they do business. Again, it's extreme, but also we still don't know how Yvette feels about nation states specifically, so we can eliminate C. Then choice D, transnational corporations will contribute to the decline of traditional cultural identities. Well, that is stated by Yvette. We've got abandoned the cultural identities, but then we know that the corporation is going to have to conform, and they're going to affirm the stability of transnational cultures. So these two speakers are absolutely on opposing sides of this issue, and we can select D hopefully proactively at this point. And for the purposes of this video, we once again see the term nation states in choice E, and we once more do not have Yvette committed to any position regarding nation states in her statements. So you can see how by focusing on specific terms, once we've highlighted in different colors, you can make quick work of these types of questions asking about what two speakers must disagree about when you practice future questions such as this on your own.